Nets Kingdom.
Fuck that house, man. I'm back. To the top, I'ma make it. Niggas just can't take it. To the top, I'ma make 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 it. Niggas just can't take it.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher and Rage. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Nets Kingdom 1. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. So today we got a fun episode for you guys, the mock draft. We are, 48 hours, almost 24 hours from the NBA draft. We're about to do our first Nets Kingdom mock draft. So before we get into that, though, make sure you guys check out our playlist. Hit playlist and 2025 NBA prospects. You'll see all our scouting reports scrolling. So if you want some deep dives into the prospects that we're about to choose, I think we're going to do at least lottery. We'll probably get to 15 today, but at least we'll do the lottery. Make sure you guys hit that playlist and you'll see more deep dives. So first, I guess we all have the agreements on Cooper Flagg as the number one pick. I know. Are there any disagreements at Cooper Flagg, y'all? Or y'all think it's we are 1-2 with Cooper Flagg at number one?
Well, hold on. Maybe Kon Knueppel could be better than Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look,
just do your quick takes on Cooper. Let's explain to the audience why Cooper is number one real quick before we get to the next pick.
Okay, he's good at everything. Elite defender, good shooter, good at drawing contact, great driver, mid-range shooter, could play make, rebound. Like, he has no weakness. Like, legitimately no weakness. Like, he is a player that you would probably, if you were going into a lab and making an NBA player, after with Victor Wembanyama, it would be like a Cooper Flagg archetype. Like, he is an elite wing that could create and play defense. No problems there. The only issue might be his on-ball shot creation. That's like the one weakness, and even then, like, he was still pretty damn good at Duke.
Yeah, I agree. So the next pick we can do Dylan Harper. I guess no one has any no gripes about Dylan at Spurs. Dylan, it's interesting with Dylan in this draft because we still don't know if the Spurs are putting him up there on the market. I don't think they will. I think they're going to ask for a haul if they do trade Dylan to a team. But I think Dylan is just,
they aren't trading him. I mean, look, he's got the ceiling. He's got an MVP caliber ceiling. Like, he's an amazing player. Like, the only way they would trade him is if they're getting like Giannis.
Yeah. They're gonna expect a haul if Dylan's gone, y'all. They're gonna expect a haul. So
and we heard that like like to get KD, they weren't even trying to get rid of Dylan Harper. So it's like, like, obviously it makes sense, but like ultimately too, like, Dylan Harper, like, as crazy as it may seem with three big time guards kind of on that team, like, Dylan Harper is just a crazy inside out guy. Could be a next version of like Cade Cunningham almost with this type of play style. Had a pretty good season at Rutgers before he went down. Really, really awful team, but he lived up to expectations. Number 2 pick pretty easily.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where the draft starts. Everybody, like, the third pick, the Philadelphia 76ers. What are you guys thinking here at 3? We saw Ace Bailey do the pre-draft, shenanigans. He doesn't want to go to the Sixers. He skipped a bunch of workouts. We know he wants to go to either the New Orleans Pelicans. Severe need for a point. Well, I don't know. It says point guard severe, power forward severe, center mild, small forward low, shooting guard low. So in my opinion, I think power forward is what they really need. But if you're looking at the draft board here, you got Ace, VJ, Trey, Khaman. So this is where we're going to have to battle it out, y'all. Who y'all thinking should be at this third?
Okay. So, I'm basing this off like talent and not like need or what the Sixers specifically need. If Ace did the draft prospect like normally and he went in to work out, did the interviews, did a decent enough job, he would be going 3, like pretty undoubtedly, in my opinion. The only reason he's not, or he probably won't, or he might get traded out, is because he's doing all this stuff, like pitching for the Mets, saying he doesn't want to work out for them. All these rumors about him wanting to go to the Pelicans, the Wizards, the Nets.
Yeah.
I would put him 3 on this board because I just think he's there talent-wise, even though I probably don't think he's going 3.
Okay, Rage, what do you think?
It's crazy to really Cypher really hit it on the head with that one. I don't think, like, as well as he said, like, I don't think, it's pretty clear that Ace is going to probably fall into like the bottom, like 6 through 8.
Mm-hmm.
And but as much as obviously, like, he doesn't, like, really want to go there and wants to be in a great situation. That's what, it makes sense. I think that he does make the most sense at that spot. It's just, he's probably, like Cypher said, he's probably not going to go there.
I will say this though, Tyrese Maxey did not work out for the Sixers, and they still drafted him.
That's fair.
Yeah, the 76ers could easily say, like, we're going to draft Ace Bailey and we don't really care, as much as, like, it may not make the most sense. Like, it still helps their longevity because Ace Bailey is a crazy, like, talented prospect.
Yeah, and with Ace, like, if he gets drafted to the Sixers, like, he's not going to sit out like Ben Simmons did. Like, remember, like, decades ago, Kobe Bryant, like, told the New Jersey Nets, not to draft him, and he threatened to play in Italy. And then I believe years later, when he, like, proved himself in the NBA, he told them, hey, by the way, if you had drafted me, I still would have played for you. Yeah. So, like, these players, like, they could try, but, like, Ace isn't, like, that insane. Like, he'll play for them.
Yeah. Okay, so I think consensus will put Ace here for now. Now, we might not think he's going to go here, but again, talent-wise, best player available, we have to just go with best player available at this moment. So we're going to go with the Sixers drafting Ace Bailey, small forward out of Rutgers. All right, so next up, we got the Hornets on the clock, y'all. So who do you guys have the Hornets taking here? I really think the Hornets need shooting, but it's like they do need defense. I think they need defense. If I'm going to go defense here, I think I'm going to go I'll go VJ here. VJ is just the perfect fit for me here, bro.
Yeah, no, it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty easy with the Hornets at this one. Like, with Ace Bailey, like, in this backdraft being gone, like, the Hornets are really just kind of like in need for, like, that shooting guard. Ultimately, like, they have LaMelo, Brandon Miller's there, Miles Bridges is there, Mark Williams is there. It's just really getting that filler, and, like we said, they really need defense, and VJ Edgecombe is probably the best perimeter defender in probably in the draft.
Yeah,
for a guard.
Okay, so I'm gonna. This is where we're gonna really debate here. Okay, a couple hours ago, Rafael Barlow, draft guy, NBA big board. He recently reported that the Hornets have had a difficult time getting prospects in for draft workouts. And amongst those players, Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe didn't want to work out for the Hornets. The only top prospect that worked out for them is Kon Knueppel.
Wow.
Like, that's the one guy. So here's my take on the situation. I think VJ would be a really good fit. But I'm either going Trey Johnson, because I think Trey Johnson has a higher ceiling than VJ Edgecombe, or I'm going Kon Knueppel because I think he is the most win-now player in terms of his shooting.
I'm going to go with, I think, the movement shooting. I think, all right, well, if you're going to compare Kon with Trey, bro, who do you think is the better defender out of that?
Honestly, I think they're kind of equal. I know there's a lot of people that are going to say Knueppel, but Duke, like Cooper Flagg and Khaman Maluach, really made up for his defensive mistakes.
Yeah. Because if I'm the Hornets, and like I said, if I'm a Hornets fan, I'm going to want a guy that's more two-way. Like, I know everybody wants the shooting, but it's like, I think Trey honestly has an argument to be the best shooter in the draft, because he might not have the catch and shoot metrics that Kon has, but he has the off the dribble. He has the most, like, balanced variety of shot making in the draft. So it's like, if you're telling me Trey is a little slightly, I might go Trey here, bro. I might go Trey, because Trey could be an off-ball movement. They could use him in the off-ball movement. LaMelo could hit him in the off movement. And then if I needed a little bit of defense, I can ask Trey to, but
Yeah, and Trey's ultimately kind of we saw at the combine like what is with the measurements and also like just being like the scorer that he is, like you're just kind of like you have not only with an upside with him like kind of like defensively, but also too we know that he is probably the best scorer in the draft.
I think
right.
Trey Johnson's defensive ceiling is way higher than Kon Knueppel's.
Yeah, I agree. The athletic testing at the combine. Leave here with the 4th pick. Johnson is
Look
the
at
4th
those
pick.
arms, bro.
Yeah. So up next week.
He had like a 6'11" wingspan, I believe, off the top of my head.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, great vertical. He tested well. So the Jazz are on the clock, man. The Jazz have an interesting. I mean, like I said, we were talking before this. They just need everything. Like they, I mean, they do have some points. Cal Flipkowski. How do you guys think? What do you guys think is the Jazz going to do here? We have VJ on the board, Kon on the board, Khaman, Kasparas, Derik Queen, Jeremiah Fears. Yeah. What do y'all think the Jazz going to do?
This is really tough because the Jazz, like, they kind of need everything, even though they have a little bit of everything. Like, they just need talent.
Yeah.
I think they should go probably either Fears, Edgecombe, or Kasparas. I think either of those guys. I mean, honestly, there are 5 guys they could take, and I would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They just need everything. So I think if I'm a Jazz fan, I'm gonna want best player available here. I'm not gonna really draft for need. And I think if I'm gonna go best player available, I think I'm gonna go VJ. I think VJ has.
Who do you think is better though? VJ Edgecombe or Jeremiah Fears? Best player available.
Oh, don't do this to me too early. Oh, don't do this to me. That's tough, bro. Jeremiah had a higher ceiling than VJ, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say Jeremiah has a higher ceiling. But if you're telling me right now, like plug and play, I think VJ is more plug and play. Let's go right now. But the Jazz are not. Let's go right now team. They're a more. We're gonna tank next year when we're upside team. So let's go Jeremiah here. Let's go Jeremiah.
Actually, you know what, VJ.
VJ?
They have look at their team. They have Sexton. They have Isaiah Collier. They have Keontae George. They got so many point guards.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. Yeah, they do have a bunch of point guards. You need some little bit of defense, and so we're gonna go with a VJ here as the 5th pick, 6'5" freshman out of Baylor. All right. So next up, we got the Wizards on the clock. So, the Wizards are an interesting team here.
They're kind of in the same situation as the Jazz and us. Like they need kind of everything.
How do you guys feel about the Wizards?
Yep. Yeah, no, the Jazz are in the craziest situation too. Like they also have they're also kind of like they're also kind of like the Jazz. They have a lot of young guys, but still are just like in the driver's seat for another tank. Like
it's tough to say. I think I might go Kon here. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I might go Kon here, but I think I like Derik Queen or Kon here. Those are my 2 for because I feel like Derik Queen, you can go double big with Alexander Sarr. He's the from Baltimore, Maryland guy, the DMV Baltimore guy. Derik Queen for the Wizards, but I don't know how y'all feeling about it.
Yeah, I think personally, I'd actually go. I kind of would weigh my options between these two. I'd probably weigh my options between Kon and Maluach here, or not Kon, but the 2 centers here, Maluach and Derik Queen, and I think Derik Queen fits the ultimate mold for like the Wizards as like a complete player standpoint because you're pairing him next to Alex Sarr, and Alex Sarr has shown the ability to be able to shoot the 3 ball.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna go with Derik Queen, the hometown guy for the Wizards. Like I said, he has the offensive ceiling is really, really nice for Derik Queen. I mean, like I said, he's so versatile, great playmaker. He might not be the most athletic guy, but he's
best
just a
rebounder in the draft.
Yeah, he's
by a lot. Like
so. All right, we're gonna go Derik Queen here at 6. Next up we have the Pelicans. I think this is kind of easy. The Pelicans at I think it's kind of easy. I think it's Maluach here. They
Yeah.
need a center bad.
They were playing
need a-
Yves Missi at center for most of the year. Like they need a big.
Yeah, I'm going with Maluach as an easy one. This is I was probably the first easy pick.
Khaman, it's just it's
yeah.
too simple. You have Yves Messi.
Yeah, you have Yves Missi. I mean, you could go point guard. Maybe some Pelicans fans, if they do watch this, they'll be like, "We need a point guard." But yeah, you got CJ McCollum for this year. Like, you guys got to deal. You can maybe deal with that. But I think Khaman is the upside center that you need for the future. You want to be solidified at that position. So I know like DeJounte is not going to come back till next year, right? So.
Yeah, DeJounte's probably like he might come back at the later part of the year, but
yeah. All right. Next up we got the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, 8 man. Oh God, look at this pool, y'all. We got Kon, Kasparas, Jeremiah, and and Colin Murray-Boyles, Egor, Noa Essengue, Carter Bryant, and Austin Newell. So who you guys? I know people have some different opinions here, but who you going first with the 8th pick?
This is okay. This is the tough one because we are the closest to the Nets.
Yeah.
We selected Fears earlier, right? Or is he still on the board?
No, he's on the board.
Okay, I think
Kon's on the board, Kasparas on the board, Fears on the board, Essengue, and
Carter Bryant,
Egor, and CMB. Austin Newell.
Okay, I'll say this: not Kon, not Asa, not CMB, not Carter Bryant. Even though I like the upside there, his physicality. Okay, between Kasparas, Fears, Essengue. Who do you think between those three have the highest ceiling?
Ooh, this is tough. Rach. What do you think, man?
Jeremiah Fears.
Fears?
I don't think it's close. I think Jeremiah Fears really, like, when it comes down to him,
Mm-hmm.
it's all just the efficiency and, not being too frantic in traffic. Being able to have it, being able to have kind of like, being able to kind of have a tight handle, in traffic, like kind of cutting down the turnovers, which is ultimately a problem with every point guard in this draft. To be honest, every true point guard has a little bit of a turnover problem in this draft, arguably, other than like Nolan Traore.
Yeah,
but Jeremiah Fears just offers so much on the offensive end with with just being able to have that Jamal Murray type of play style, like doing everything, essentially being able to dunk on it, being able to dunk on people, being able to, be insanely fast and shoot through and, hit movement shots at a crazy level and pass. Like,
yeah, off the dribble. He just has it more all put together more than Noa Essengue. I think the reason why Noa Essengue has that upside is because of his age, and like people are kind of falling in love with the physical tools. I mean, he has the outstanding physical tools, but then like he doesn't have the handle Jeremiah has. He doesn't have the playmaking that Jeremiah has, and then the off the dribble potential, like the shooting. I believe that Jeremiah's shooting kind of will translate a little bit faster than Essengue, because they both are not the best shooters, but like I think Jeremiah's shooting will translate. So I think Jeremiah's the pick here, y'all. I don't know.
I think. I'm gonna go with Kasparas Jakucionis.
Okay.
He's bigger. He had a stretch we discussed this in the video with Pete. Pre-injury, like he was a 50-40-90 guy. And look, I know he has the turnovers, but look, he's bigger than Fears. Jakucionis is a 6'5" without shoes, so he's probably 6'6", 6'6.5" with shoes. He's got good strength. He wasn't afraid of contact. He was good at hitting his free throws. Shooting percentages and splits were decent enough. I believe he shot 44% from the field, 32 from 3. Yeah.
What they're gonna say, but Saif, in the comments, they're gonna say, what about upside, Saif? What about upside? What about the swing?
He does have upside. I mean, he's a tall point guard.
They're gonna say what's his ceiling though? Is his ceiling higher than Jeremiah and Essengue? That's what they're gonna say in
Okay,
the comments, bro.
with the ceiling, okay, Asenge, because he is 6'10" and because he's so young,
Mm,
and because he was playing winning basketball with Germany, I believe the name of the team was, like he has like the highest ceiling right now. And with Fears, even if he does figure out the efficiency,
mhm.
his ceiling is realistically Darius Garland or Tyrese Maxey, and those are great players, but both those guys at their best are like top 25.
That's fair. All right. So, Rage, how you feeling? I guess we can. Kasparas. I'm not gonna lie. How you feel about Kasparas for?
Kasparas is definitely another guy who has a lot of major upside. Really, with him, it's just it's the turnover problem, and it's just defense. I mean, the guy's efficiency is nothing short of elite.
Yeah.
Like
All right.
ridiculous shooting percentages. Like,
Let's get a little. All right. So next up we have the
AJ, where are
Mhm.
you at though? Okay, Ray
Yeah.
chose Fears, I chose Kasparas. Who are you choosing?
Me personally, I would go. I probably would go Fears because, like I said, I do like Fears' upside, but I understand why you chose Kasparas with the positional size and the tall point guard, which makes sense. And then it's like you said, it's hard to build a team with a small point guard, but I don't know. I just like me personally. I like Fears. I like Fears for this pick, but like I said,
Okay.
for the sake of the video, we put Kasparas, so we got to move
No,
on.
no, no.
With,
I
yeah.
mean, two out of the three of us chose Fears, so I'll just go with Fears.
All right. Well, I think I drafted Kasparas already. I drafted him already. I drafted
Can't undo it.
Kasparas. Yeah, I cannot do it. It's all good.
Okay, maybe at the end we could see if we can edit it.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So next up, we got the Raptors here at a number 9. So we have Kon on the board, Jeremiah's on the board, CMB, Egor, Carter Bryant, Austin. This pick, I think, is easy. Noa Essengue has to go. Noa Essengue is the ultimate Masai Ujiri kind of pick. Like Masai Ujiri loves those international, lengthy 3-and-D type potential physical tools. You think of the Siakam, you think of the OG Anunoby. I think Noa Essengue is the guy, man. How y'all feel about that at 9?
Yeah, I mean, there were rumors that they wanted to trade the pick for like a veteran player, but
Mhm.
if they end up drafting, then yeah, I think they go for a Senga.
Yeah.
I like
Rage,
Essengue a lot here too.
Noa
Just
Essengue?
there's a big high upside here. There's only other guy I see that's really being comparable to him at this point is just Kon because he's such a good plug and play guy, and the Raptors seem really close to being competitive. Like, at least trying to be soon. Like, you got Scotty, you got you see what you got with Barrett. You have you have Grady Dick. There's
Brandon
definitely pieces
Ingram.
around. You have Emmanuel Quickly. There's guys
Yeah.
around.
Noah
Brandon
Essengue-
Ingram was just they just traded for him. So
Yeah, I think is going to be a good piece for the Raptors too because they need a defender like him. Like they can use him on defense a lot. So
big time.
yeah, big time. So up next we have the Phoenix Suns who just traded in after the KD trade. They're in the 10th pick here. So what do you guys think the Suns are? There's been rumors, they're kind of thirsty for a center. But what do you guys think the Suns do here with the the overload of shooting guards? Jalen Green, Devin Booker. They have so many shooting guards. Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal. They have. I think the last thing they need is a shooting guard on this team. So, what do you guys think the Suns do with the 10th pick?
I'd probably lean more towards honestly like a Egor Demin for their pick. I honestly like I like the potential of like a Carter Bryant as well, to be honest. Like, you do have a Ryan Dunn, so you might almost be kind of canceling out at that point. You're just trying to get the maximum potential out of those guys with all of the scorers around them, which is pretty, which could be pretty interesting. But I think here with the Suns, like Egor for me makes a ton of sense because, well, I guess I'd probably I guess with their insanely crazy shooting guard situation, like they do really need a true point guard, and I think one of those guys is not going to be in the starting lineup, and it's not going to be like Devin Booker, like in terms of like the two guys, like the three guys they have already, like it's going to be Bradley Beal or it's going to be like Jalen Green, who isn't starting. And I
agree. I like that pick.
It's gonna be it's gonna be like
because they're gonna need somebody to put Devin Booker in his spot, somebody to put Jalen Green. They're gonna need a pass first, and you got a big guard or a tall guy like Egor, who's a pass first kind of guy who doesn't care about scoring. Because if you're on a team with Devin Booker, Jalen Green, and Bradley Beal fighting over the ball to score, you're gonna need a guy who doesn't care about scoring, and you're gonna need a point guard to put him in their spot. So I like Egor here, the best passer in the draft. With the number 10th pick. So the Suns get Egor. Good upside guy, too. All right. So next up, we got the 11th pick, the Portland Trailblazers. It looks like this is an interesting pick because they have a bunch of talent. But who do you guys think the Blazers pick here? Because we got Kon on the board, Jeremiah, CMB, Carter Bryant, and Asa Newell. Thomas Sorber. They could use a point guard.
I mean, they have Scoot. They have Scoot.
They got Scoot.
I think maybe CMB.
Shooting guard, but shooting. CMB.
I like CMB. I like CMB here. The Trailblazers have to be like the most interesting team because they also have like Denny Avdia at their 3.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is a tough pick. Blazers fans are gonna be mad at us because this is. I look at the roster here: DeAndre Ayton, Jeremiah Grant, Anthony Simmons, Denny, Robert Williams, Matisse, Scoot, Donovan Clingan, Shaden. I think you could argue to me small forward. It's not the best, but like you said, you got Denny. This is a tough pick,
Grant's
bro.
on the team.
Yeah, this is a tough pick, bro. I think I'm just gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with CMB here because CMB could be I think they do need a little bit of rebounding on this team.
I mean, look, if CMB,
I know
I don't think it's likely he ends up being this, but he projects to be like a Draymond to some of these draft board guys. The Portland Trailblazers could really use like a Draymond kind of player.
Yeah, I think the Blazers, because like Clingan doesn't rebound enough for me, even though he's 7 foot. And I think they just need a little bit of toughness in that interior. So like CMB is going to mix it up. You don't have to force him to shoot. He can kind of like play through his mistakes here. Big guy, 6'7", 245. And then he's so versatile defensively. So I'm going to go with CMB here. Blazers fans, let us know if, we made the wrong pick. Okay, so the Bulls with the 12th pick, man. The Bulls with the 12th pick. Who do you guys have? The Bulls. Lonzo, Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins, Kobe White, Trey Jones, Jalen Smith, Giddey, Ayo, Javon Carter, and Matas. Buzelis. What do you guys think the Bulls take here, y'all? These are tough. When you get to the little bit of the middle of the lottery, this is tough, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. These GMs have a tough job to do, bro.
Why? What about Kon Knueppel?
Cedric Coward.
Yeah.
Cedric Coward. Yeah, that's actually an interesting pick because
you're able to get like
he would have
essentially another really high upside guy. Really high upside guy.
I like Cedric. Let's go. Cedric here. I think Cedric here. It might be. He's that good to go this high, though. Y'all think he's that good to go this high? Over Carter, Jeremiah,
Oh wait, we still haven't chosen Jeremiah yet.
Jeremiah's on the board, yeah.
I feel like we messed up here somehow. We'll get to the end.
Yeah. No. Well, because like I said, this team, Jeremiah is not the fit for this because they got Lonzo and Kobe. So I think Cedric's probably actually a really good pick for them because that wing, a shooting 2-way wing at 6'7", you could go Carter Bryant here, but are the Bulls in a winning now situation? Because Cedric's more win now.
I mean, the Bulls have made it clear that they are not tanking. Coward. I think Coward actually does have like a pretty high ceiling. Like I've seen some guys compare him to Jalen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a huge wingspan. I think a 7'1" wingspan. He's 6'6" without shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Good shooter. Good rim finisher. straight line drives, showed some passing this year. Like he's older, but I could see with him. I could see him being like a Jalen Williams, a Desmond Bain kind of player.
Nice. All right, so we're going to Cedric Coward here with the 12th pick. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're getting down almost there to the lottery. Almost there, y'all. All right, so with the 13th, we got on the board the Atlanta Hawks. All right, so I think the Atlanta Hawks desperately need a center. That's probably their severe need is a center. We might have to go Asanul here. We might have to go Asanul here, y'all. I think or Thomas Sorber. Those are my two picks. You either go Thomas Sorber or Asanul because I think Clint Capella's on his way out. I don't think they want him. You still have.
Well, they can if they need a big, they could find one in like free agency or via trade or like with the vet minimum. Like they have other options beside the draft. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe this is where Kon should go.
This is where Kon, yeah. Because if you, we got to put Kon up here because it's like this is probably unrealistic. Kon dropping this far. We're so bad at mocks, yo. But hey, this is our opinion. So Kon fits on every team, bro. And the thing about Kon is he's just the safest pick. Like he's just the perfect shooting, catch and shoot movement shooter. But he can create a little bit. He can create as like a secondary, tertiary guy. He can definitely create if you ask him to. But now on the Hawks, he's not going to be asked to be the main creator because you have Trey, you got Jay Johnson, you got Jalen. So he can be one of those guys that can. He could be the Bogdan to this team, right? Is that right? Like it could be that Bogdanovich to this team.
No, he easily kind of fills that void because it's like if he can just play like a shooting guard type of role for them, like or like even just like that, like a forward type of role, like where they even like are able to put like Rija Shea kind of like at the 4 and just have a little bit of defensive upside. Like it makes sense. Like in true and like to be honest, like the Atlanta Hawks are a team that's definitely in need of shooting.
Yeah. Now we're at the Spurs here with the 14th pick. We got Jeremiah on the board, Carter Bryant, Austin Newell, Jace Richardson, Thomas Sorber. So Spurs are interesting. They already have Dylan Harper, so there's a backlog with the point guard. You got Wemby at the center. Power forward is interesting though. Like
let's go for Carter Bryant here.
Okay, what's your reasoning behind that?
I mean, look, he's a 3-and-D wing. He's got good size, very athletic. He could be. I don't know. He's not going to be a starter from day one, of course, but I think he'd be a win now guy off the bench, and I think he could work his way up to being a starter in a couple of years.
Yeah, I actually agree, and I think he does kind of fit on the Spurs too. I think you would like the shooting because I think the Spurs need a little bit of spacing, but Carter does have that nice mechanics, and he did shoot well in the limited minutes in Arizona. So I think I don't mind this Carter Bryant pick at 14.
He shot 37% from 3. Like he could be like it was all spot up attempts, but that's what I expect him to do early in his career. Just be a spot up guy and play some defense.
Yeah. All right, so that's our lottery mock draft. We got Jeremiah actually falling out. Cooper Flagg, Dylan Harper.
Real quick about, and we said this before, Jeremiah should be because you two want him on the Nets, and I agree too. Like I think that's a fine pick.
But somebody would have to drop, bro, because we picked Kasparas at 8, so somebody would have to fall, and it was either Jeremiah or Kasparas falling. Somebody.
Here's what I think, though. Okay, we had the Wizards taking Derik Queen.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Jeremiah should go to us at 8, and then Kasparas. Look, I'm really high on Kasparas, so is Pete, but realistically, amongst all these guys, like he'd probably be the one.
He'll be the one to fall out.
Actually,
lottery.
Wait, why doesn't he go 10 to the Suns, and why doesn't Denham fall out?
I think because Yegor's the better playmaker in my opinion. He's the best passer in the draft, and there's a backlog with the Suns. There's a backlog at shooting guard. There's a huge jam log with shooting. They got like 50,000 shooting guards on that team. So
well, Kasparas would play point guard.
He would, but it's like I just think Egor is just a pass. You need a pass first guy. I think you need a pass first guy on the Suns team, in my opinion. That's the only reason I chose.
And between all of those guards that you have, like you have Ryan Dunn and other guys outside of like your genuine shooting guards, but like they're also really like not that tall as a team. Like
that's true because these guys are all shooting. What are they all like 6'5"? Devin Booker's what 6'6".
Bradley Beal's like what 6'3", 6'4".
6'3". Grayson Allen's like 6'3". Royce is like a shooting. He's a small forward, but he's like the size of a shooting guard. He's like 6'4", 6'5". All these guys, they do need height. So Egor's at 6'9".
With Kasparas though, like he was just the better player than Egor Demin this year. Like just outright, like
that's true.
Stat for stat, like with the exception of like the assist to turnover ratio, like Kasparas was just way better.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that was a decent mock. I mean, let us know in the comments how you guys feel about this mock draft. This is tough. Like I said, this is tough. It was our first Nets Kingdom mock draft. Let us know. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. All our Twitter is scrolling at the bottom. Instagram is Nets Kingdom 1. We'll see who falls out the lottery, because all these mock drafts we see on YouTube, it's like somebody is gonna fall, and then in these drafts somebody does fall, but you're just gonna know who's the right person to fall, who's gonna be the best guy to, who's gonna be the steal, because there's always a steal in these drafts,
and there's always and like you said, like there's always gonna be somebody that completely falls out of the draft, and we've seen it with Cam Whitmore, we've seen it with many other players in this and like in drafts where they're projected to go at a certain spot and fall like 10 picks.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments. Make sure you guys check out our playlist, hit that like button, and we'll be back.